Hello Galactic family. Hello, great beings of love. We are happy and joyful in this co-creation, and glad to greet you once again. We appreciate your willingness to take time each day to be in this knowing, in this acknowledgement of who you really are, and how your life is coming about, and the different inputs of energy and focus and clarity that you have within you. We especially appreciate the shifts you're making, the adjustments you're making, and celebrate with you your increased capacity to liberate the flow within you of knowing and fullness, and the way your life is changing because of this. Once you begin to live your life knowing the truth of your being and paying attention to that, you change your experience fundamentally. What we mean when we say this is that you have actually made an enormous shift that forms a new basis for your embodiment, and it is of central importance that you realize the implications of this shift in understanding and orienting to your life. You have done this. You've made this shift in recognizing yourself, remembering yourself, claiming your sense of self as eternal, divine, free. You know yourself as an extension of what might be called soul or source or all that is, extension of these vaster, eternal, divine energies in embodiment. As a result of knowing this and claiming this, and this new foundation created from this, and the new location in which you live your experience because of this, you cannot expect your life to look like other people's lives. When you do, and when you pay attention to the beliefs, and systems, and structures, and agreements, and contracts, and transactional ways of thinking that everybody lives by who isn't thinking about themselves this way, you feel yourself diminished. We want to remind you that you have expanded beyond many of the beliefs and ideas of your world. You have eclipsed many of the ways that humans have lived, and many of the ways that many humans do live. There are others like you, quite a lot, and you are not alone ever, nor without human company, should you think you mean your only company is non-physical. Smile. You do not need to worry about where anyone else is relative to this, even, and perhaps especially because you feel most concerned about those closest to you. You only need continue to return to the sense of self that you've acknowledged, that you've allowed, that you've embraced, and tune to who you really are. Practice these new ways of being until it become normal to you, and then continue to make real and important what you want to be real. We suggest you make learning how to do this as the focus of life, once you embrace the truth of your being and choose to express who you are, fully and freely. The way you express who you are will evolve. It will change. It's dynamic. You have many different ways you could express yourself. You will have different interests at different times in your life. Life will stimulate you in many ways. Contrary to what you may have believed before, or have been told, or have considered, you do not have an assignment in this life. You did not come here in agreement to be something in particular, or to play a certain role. Many of you actually still hold on to these ideas, so today, in order to further your true expression, we must talk about this. Many of you hold these ideas, that you have an assignment, that you have a purpose, that you made agreements before you came here, and these are interpretations of embodiment that are made when one is in more limiting frequencies. To hold these ideas limits you, because they limit your ability to follow your spirit in the present, which is where all truth within you is accessible. When you hold these ideas about your life, you're overlaying your life with some kind of filter, which limits your ability to hear the truth within you in the present, and respond freely in the moment to follow your spirit. When you have ideas of right and wrong, and good and bad, and you're thinking about your life in terms of finding that mission within you that you have, that you need to fulfill, or the idea that there's this purpose that you had when you came here, and you need to be it, You limit your ability to live in coherent clarity and knowing and sovereign alignment. We want to point this out, that these ideas may have made perfect sense to you before now, but they can be dropped now. You can find in doing that, in dropping these ideas, that your inner knowing becomes radiant, and clear, and brilliant, and inspiring, and you will like that a lot. We say it again, you did not come here assigned a particular role or function. You do not therefore need to discover it and do it. We get a lot of questions in individual sessions and in the Q&A sessions in events such as, what am I supposed to do? What should I do next? How can I best use my gifts? We see that within many of you, there are still these ideas that you have an assignment and it's your job to suss it out and express it. We want to remind you that you're free to be who you want to be. We also want to remind you of your sovereignty. You are not here to make life better for others. You are not here to save someone else or even to challenge them so they will grow. These are radical ideas, because most people who have a spiritual orientation embrace these kinds of beliefs. Yet as you ascend you will find they don't make sense, for in sovereignty you see everyone else, and yourself as capable and indeed as living as a master, here. So then, let us talk about what you did come here for. You came here to explore this realm of focus, to see what it was like, to enjoy it. You knew that by infusing this expression of you into a human body you'd have a lot of options for expression. You wanted to discover in the embodiment what interested you. You wanted your life to be wide open. You came here for the freedom of it, and to discover what it was like to be in this wide open, free place. You definitely did not limit things before you got here. You came here without agenda. You came here trusting yourself. You came here knowing that you had this vaster aspect of you to which you could tune and feel yourself into alignment, or you might have thought of it as truth. The words do not matter. You came here knowing you would still be clearly connected to all that you are, and trusting you could find your way. You came here to experience this, and to feel it, and to feel yourself in it, and knew that you would find your alignment, knew that you would feel inspired, knew that you would feel connected, knew that you would have moments when you didn't feel these things, but figured that you could find your way amidst all of this, confident in yourself. You came here feeling free to discover, and explore, and make choices, and share, and feel what it was like to have all those experiences, and knowing without a doubt that all of that would create expansion, and that would benefit all that is, and so you could focus on fun, over, and over and over again. You knew that you would have all kinds of ideas. You knew that you are a unique, particular, and beautiful being, a signature of energy that is whole and coherent. As such, you knew that your life would inspire things within you, things that come about from the correspondence between you and all you experience, things unique to you. You knew that you would have things that call to you, some more than others, and that you could trust yourself to feel your way, and that there was, really, we want you to hear this today, so we will now speak in present terms. You knew before you came here, and we ask you to consider how you feel about it now. You knew there is no way to do this wrong. There is not some better way, or some assignment you need to fulfill. There is simply you here, having an incredible experience in an incredible body, in an incredibly wide open, rich, diverse realm of focus. There's just another opportunity each day, to discover what you want, and what you like, and what feels good to you, and how in all that you want to live now, and what calls to you now, what do you prefer now? You could just consider, what do I want to do with my day? How can I make my day the most fun for me? What gives me pleasure? What's calling to me? What do I want more of? How do I feel? This is really your work. If you want an assignment, to pay attention to yourself, and to use your inner knowing and your feelings to orient, and to tune to yourself, and to discover the path of joy for you in this realm of focus. We want to reassure you of that inner knowing within you, and also point out the subtlety of how this really works. All you think is important, all you've been told you need to make your focus, things like lighting up the world, sharing your gifts, discovering abundance, having a vibrant and healthy body, having beautiful relationships and connections, having awe-inspiring experiences, and transcendent moments of grace and love. All of that is natural and comes from this tuning to you and paying attention to you and your path of joy. It all comes from those things. It's a byproduct of that your sovereign alignment. Living in alignment and claiming your sovereignty, you naturally experience those things and contribute abundantly. In sovereign alignment, you free yourself up to follow your spirit, to express yourself authentically in the present moment, informed in clarity and in knowing. In that state of orientation, all of life opens to you. The expansive, wise soul within you, who knows all you like, and what you want, and has embraced everything you've chosen and become, guides you through your inner knowing and the inspiration you feel, along the most graceful path to ever-expanding fulfillment. The feelings that are manifested help you to steer. You can steer right around obstacles and limiting ideas about your life, if you follow your spirit. There's no need to first clear all that, just follow your inner knowing and you can bypass all that you might think needs to be cleared. Isn't that a relief? All of that can lead you into the experiences of that which you prefer and want to know as your life. True expression is really achieved through giving yourself permission, permission to do what you want, permission to give yourself pleasure, permission to do what gives you joy, and to realize that there's not, and this is scary for some people, there is not some assignment for you to complete or to discover so that you can do. It's scary for some people to really understand how free you are, but we hope it's also really fun. We suspect that the scariness comes from all the ideas in your world of right and wrong, and the times in your life when you were wary about doing what you really wanted, and how other people might think or feel about that, or did. Or have a habit of concern about what it might mean given this criteria of what's good, and what's bad, and what's best, and what's right, to do what you want. And of course in your world, thinking of yourself and putting yourself first, is growing in acceptability, but many times is called selfish and viewed with extreme criticism and negativity. Yet you are in a new state of knowing. Now that you're oriented to the vastness within you, and returning regularly to the inner connection to all that you are, you're liberating an ever-expanding flow of that inner life into your embodied experience. We suggest you consider that the whole point of being here is to see what's possible here and choose for the pleasure your choices bring you. Today, we ask you to think about your day this way. Imagine if you were in a shipwreck, and you showed up on a shore. There was food and things there, but nothing else. What would you be doing? You'd be exploring. You'd be seeing what there was to do. You'd be seeing what you wanted to do. You'd be setting up your life in a way that you liked. We want you to really realize you have that choice every day, to create the life experience you want. The only thing that stands in your way is the resistance you feel to doing what you want because of all these ideas of what you think you should do. Isn't it perhaps time to realize that your life is no longer built on those terms, and that you are, in fact, free? We are the Council of Radiant Light,